What is up, my cutouts? Cardboard Ninja here coming at you with, I guess, the devlog for the new mecha season coming to Crossout. So this is gonna be part one of three as usual, and apparently we're gonna get legs, but that's not what's being announced right now. They're announcing a legendary rocket launcher. Based on its positioning and its shape, this would be similar to what 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, an SRM 6 or an LRM 10. Mind you, they picked a number in between SRM and LRM. So, wait, hold on. I think it was, what, MRM? 3, 6, 7, 8. Nope, I think MRM started at 10 as well. So they picked that one number, 8, that doesn't exist in MechWarrior Online or Battletech. Anywho, so new legendary rocket launcher on its way. It's going to be scavengers, and its perk is going to be it's going to fire a burst of several fast maneuverable rockets. So this sounds as though it's going to be very similar to uh, my most hated weapon, the homing rockets in the game. I don't know why they would make another one of these. I don't know. I mean, honestly, the problem with rockets is they aren't meta. The Hurricane right now exists and is a long range missile option, like ultra long range. Obviously, you can, if you're on crater, you can fire from one side of the crater to the other side of the crater. And if you aim up, your missiles come straight down. You get the idea. We all know that. This looks as though you can't do that yet, maybe? I don't know. But it says that it fires fast maneuverable rockets that will fly like a swarm and then explode on hit. It could also be some similar to the Heather, but the sheer fact that they say they're maneuverable implies they're not. So, yep. The perk will focus on and reward skillful and precise shooting. Again, these are some interesting contradictory terms. But anyway, each hit will on the enemy will boost the damage of the next volley. It'll also increase the reload speed. So this sounds like the Heather. Well, the Heather doesn't get a reload boost based on hits, but I mean, mini rockets have perks that are based on hitting. So even the Waltz, like the third rocket in the volley, will deal additional damage. The Helicon, each rocket does something different. The what is this? All of the course fire rockets, the Cricket, which says further distance, the more damage you get. But the ones right before it, like the Wasp and the Pyramid, give your next burst a bonus if you land your first. Things like that. It's following that theme. Depending on how fast it fires rockets, depending on if it fires all the launches at once. It'd be interesting, but rockets tend not to be very meta. Uh, I mean, we all saw the Lucifer. The Lucifer, another legendary rocket launcher, showed great promise and then fell right off. You don't even see Lucifer in matches because it just doesn't hurt. It just doesn't hurt. So it's very difficult to balance rockets because either they hurt and they instantly kill, or they don't and are trash. So we'll see how that goes. New legendary support module, and as you can see, if you look very closely, it has installation nodes here, 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 most likely on the back corner down here. So these two are the other side of this. So here, 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 and one facing straight back. Here, here, one facing forward, etc. This is a legendary. It is not a relic. It works very similar to the Omamori inverter with the nodes, but unlike the Omamori and the inverter, this is just a buffing module. Your buffs. You either get damage, you get engine power, or you get top speed. You can get all three if you assemble your build appropriately and attach them all to this legendary support module. Funny story though, this is exclusive with the Omamori. You cannot have this and the Omamori, which means that many people might already be considering to say F this. Not only can this not be installed alongside the Omamori, this bitch explodes, and it's huge. And you might be wondering how big. Looks like it's 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. It's 4 by 4 by 3? 4 by 4 by 3 or 4 by 4 by 2? I'm going to say 4 by 4 by 2. Because this is going to be 1, that's 2. So you're looking at a 4 by 4 by 2 part that does explode when hit, but can grant you buffs. It doesn't tell you how much, though. So we don't know what the boost to damage will be, but this is the first damage booster straight up in the game. something that just outright increases damage is unheard of, unless of course we're talking about, the cockpit, or unless we're talking about the aggressor, or the howl. The howl adds damage, or the ice box, right? Those are it. The blight, which just straight up adds damage. I think it's a quantum. And of course the photon. Okay, so fine. There's a lot of things that add damage in the crossout, but this is the first. This is the first that is universal. That isn't a cabin. So the idea here being that, you know, if you want, I don't. Here's the issue for hovers and for builds that can stay at the periphery of combat. For those who want to weave in and out using cloaking devices, this module is going to be super bad. I mean, for the game, it's going to suck, depending on how much damage it gives. If it gives something like 15%, maybe. But if it gives like 25% damage, that's going to be super bad, because you can combine that with, oh yeah, the ghost. That's another one that adds damage. Because again, the point here and the joke there is that you can combine this with things that already add damage. Right. This won't be very good for Leviathans. I just bring that up because I've been doing a little bit of Levy CW myself, and the reason why this wouldn't be very good for Leviathans is because it doesn't boost all guns. It only boosts the guns that are attached to it. So it's not going to give you nearly as much of a bonus as the Averter will attach to your cabin, keeping your Leviathan alive. So unfortunate. But other than that, I'm not opposed to this module. It sounds pretty kind of cool. Yeah, new mechs though. They're coming. They didn't tell us anything about the legs. Oh, whoops. Let me skip this real fast. Let me finish up with new structural parts. Yet another massive freaking plow. You know why they needed this? Because there aren't enough things holding up Leviathan roofs, apparently. Like, apparently, train plows, snow plows, freaking the Gessen, all of those parts that are holding up Leviathan roofs, not enough. We need more. We just need more things holding up levee roofs. And it looks like they're giving it to us. They look exactly like the other bumpers, obviously shaped a little bit differently. Their parameters will be minutely different. But long story short, you're going to see this vertically mounted, holding up some Leviathan roof. Expect that in the future. And they apparently really do love the armored part mechanic. And so they're coming out with another armored part. So armored part mechanics, as you know, have a very, very strong white part, and that white part is just super strong and takes reduced damage because it's white. And then, of course, you've got the dark part of the part, and that part just takes full damage, has no resistance whatsoever, and gets shot off your vehicle. And that's what they're giving us more. In this case, it looks like a 2x2. I hope it's 2x2. It better friggin' not be a 4x4. But if this is a 2x2, it gives you very small armored parts that you can use to try and cover up super weak parts of your vehicle. This is actually, if this works, if this is an armored 4 square right here, and this side over here isn't and all that stuff, I'd be fine with that. This is actually a pretty cool. This is a pretty cool part. But if it's a 4x4, that would mean that it would be 1, 2, 3, 4, and these two little parts here would be unarmored, and that would be terrible. So, I'm always a sucker for new parts. I like any new parts to construct with. And I'd be fine with this regardless, even if it were a 4x4. I would prefer it if it were a 2x2. If this is a 2x2, then excellent. If this is like 1, no, it's got to be. This has to be a 4x4, doesn't it? No, it would be 1, 2, and this would be like 3, 4. Man, no, this is probably a 4x4. Shit. But whatever. New armor parts coming. Mechs, yo. They're coming. They're going to be big old walker legs, and they are going to get dominated. I have already said this before, and I'll say it again. Those legs are going to have something like 5k hit points each leg if you want to have a walker that's not going to be like a centipede. More centipede walkers and crossout. But yeah, what do you guys think? New rockets? I don't know. Rockets are so hit and miss. So I will say this, though. As of right now, I would argue that one of the best weapons, if not the best weapon in the game, is the Helicon. It's a great rocket launcher. It's truly good. It's top 2 weapons in the entire game right now. But every other rocket launcher is a big ass disappointment. I mean, the Cricket is very good, but is very, very easily stripped off your build. The rockets before that can bully low power scores, but again, easily stripped and linear. Homing rockets like the Pyre, terrible. Hurricane, I just hate the gun in general. It's also not meta. You don't see it used anywhere. And it just the not the wasp. I'm sorry. The waltz is terrible. Like it's a meme weapon, one that you use specifically because it does a lot of damage, but never in a reliable way, right? And then finally, you've got the Lucifer, huge bust for the battle pass. It looked as though it would be cool. It wouldn't combine with the reload bug. It was awesome, but on its own, it's not very good. So I worry about a new legendary rocket launcher. That's why. And the Heather is technically, even though it's considered artillery, is a rocket launcher. Though I will give the Heather props, like props where it's due. It does crack ass when it hits. I mean, it does 700 damage, assuming it hits only one part without splash, right? So you can't argue with that. Two of them is 1400 damage. Its perk is 30% faster reload. So can't really bitch about the Heather. But I don't know. I don't know how about this one. Another Hurricane doesn't feel too good. Legendary support module though. I mean, there's gonna be some niche fun builds that people are gonna make with this. I'm gonna have fun with it. Only downside is it's not gonna be meta because the Ilmamori is mandatory and the Averter is mandatory in Leviathan. So could be interesting. Could be fun. All right, guys. I'm gonna let you go. Thank you for joining me. Peace.